Hello and
Ray, you're
welcome.
upside down.
Yes, he is. Hello and welcome to episode 75 of the Jeffrey and Brian Show. I am Jeffrey.
I'm Brian.
And we're two guys drinking beer, talk what's going on. Apparently, Ray's already had too many.
He was
It's
upside
just the first
down.
one. I swear.
We're gonna have a lot of COVID today,
Oh yeah.
but we do have some other stuff to talk
I
about.
tried to find other stuff that wasn't COVID related.
Yeah, as we were saying earlier, well, we're only doing it once when we do it 2 shows a week now, so it's like at least we're not. Oh, it is half the show. But yeah, now you can pick and choose whether or not you want to listen to the COVID part anyway, I suppose, huh?
How's the other one do it?
What's
How's
that?
the other show doing?
The Saturday episode?
Yeah.
I had
I don't know. I think I got like 9 on Rumble and a couple on YouTube. Not much.
Okay.
let me see here. Let me check the episode.
Anyway,
I got a lot of
while Brian's trying to find his numbers here,
Mhm.
don't forget to wear your thirsty shirts. You only have a couple, you know? And if you're going to be feeding your shirt beer, make sure it's one that's going to appreciate it.
8 downloads for Jars of Farts.
Jars of farts. Oh, your wife sent me a hilarious meme. I
Yeah,
sent it to you
kinda.
guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude had Joker makeup on and like a suit and everything. And it's like me
Yeah.
going to work with someone's make some broad selling her farts in jars for 10K a week or something.
50K.
Oh, every time I looked at it, I laughed hard because it's something else I found funny. I was like, you feel like such a clown when this person's making this much money farting in jars. And why am I going out and breaking my bones?
You gotta wonder how she got the most of her fart in the jar. Did she have like a suction cup attached to her ass that funneled into the jar? What was the
Oh,
logistics behind
A
this?
vacuum chamber is not a bad idea. But remember, she got hospitalized for having a weird diet. So she might have just been blasting them in there. Well, no, it specifically said that she was eating like tons of beans and eggs and like all sorts of stuff. It just makes you fat nasty. Oh
I
man,
bet it was lovely dating her.
she's a smoke show too. That's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. People get turned on that.
Well, that's how you sell your farts. I mean, you and I couldn't sell our farts. No one wants to
Nope.
buy those.
No. The Jeffrey and Brian show special in a yard.
That would be
Beer
hilarious
farts.
if we started selling jars of farts. That's our only merch is fart jars.
Oh, we could do burping for a burping yards. Burp into the yard.
Oh, that would be pretty fun actually.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyways.
It's cold here.
It's cold here too. It was the high today was 36 degrees.
High today hit 10 degrees.
Gosh, yeah, you keep that stuff.
You keep it. We don't want it. We're freaking out with it being 36 is the high. We're excited for tomorrow. It's gonna be 50.
Most of the day today was single digits, and it was good God, it was cold. I put the beer outside for a little while, with the logic in my head, and I was like, okay, it's carbonated. There's a little bit of alcohol in it. It's under pressure. I was like, it is only 8 degrees out. I'm pretty sure I can leave this out here for like 3 hours and it won't freeze.
Oh yeah, that's what happened when you leave beer in the refrigerator, which is like 30 something.
Oh shoot, I keep
The
my fridge
freezer.
I keep my fridge at like 30 because it won't freeze the beer, but
No, the freezer part of the
Oh.
refrigerator.
Yeah, you don't want to freeze your beer. That's a mistake.
No,
Well, the
it's
same thing
bad.
when it goes out in 8 degrees.
Oh no, exactly. That's why I was worried about it exploding in the cans, but it's nice and cold.
You go pick it up and blow up in your face.
I've had that happen before, actually.
Mm.
When you
So-
move it, everything like it makes it all crystallize all at once. It just explodes into this frothy, slushy mess, and it's gross.
So is this Arctic deep freeze we got going on part of the climate change /
Probably.
global warming?
I don't know, man. They used to tell us that weather wasn't climate, and now every time there's a major weather event, it's because of climate. And I don't know. Oh my God. We can go down that road if you want. That's a whole
Rabbit
thing.
hole to step in.
Well, there's tons of evidence saying that we're still coming out of the last mini ice age.
Mm.
You know, and the planet has been hotter.
That's because of we're spewing all those greenhouse gases into the world.
All right. Maybe.
That's
I mean, it's
the
possible.
cows are farting way more, and they're not jarring them up
Well, we have a
properly.
pretty interesting storm system coming up late this week.
That was interesting. Maybe that's what we need to do is start collecting the cow farts. And what happens if you burn cow farts? Like, is that even more toxic to the environment?
I don't know. I make fire. I make burn it off and heat up water so we can get steam. And turn
Yeah,
those
and spin it.
turbine engines.
There you go. Spin a turbine and make electricity. Let's use those cow farts.
Yeah.
I don't know. What happens when you burn methane? I know you get a blue flame because I farted.
I was
and
just
go
gonna
away.
say a blue flame.
Because I flipped my own farts on fire before. We all have. I remember on the Carl Vinson ones, dude was certain that farts would not burn in the pipe shop. And I was like, yes, they will. And I just ripped a huge one, blew it right through my coveralls, shot a good 5-inch flame out. And I was like, that's what's up. He's like, holy shit, farts burn. Oh. He's the same guy who arced a plasma cutter off of his coveralls and melted a hole the size of a $50 in his leg. But speaking of the cold, did you see this thing they're talking about in Russia? They're looking to send repeat pedophiles to like Arctic prisons or in the mines in the Arctic for the rest of their lives. Yeah, basically every day sucks worse than the day before, and you spend every day thinking about what you did and wishing you hadn't. Seems pretty nasty, but it's probably more humane than executing them or castrating like we do here.
Before we veer off out of the Russian area of the world, I heard on another show, actually, I think it was a No Agenda show this week about Kazakhstan, you know, which we talked about on Saturday's show. Why should the world be so worried about Kazakhstan? Well, Russia has a huge interest in Kazakhstan. All of their launches for their space program go out of Kazakhstan.
It's true. Kazakhstan's also like the biggest Bitcoin mining nation on the planet. Which is, yeah, that's why they took a huge hit after what happened in Kazakhstan. But speaking of that, I keep up on my crypto news and all sorts of stuff because I do this show with you guys. Kazakhstan's getting ready to remove the Russian troops or whatever they are out of their nation.
Peacekeepers.
Yeah, okay, peacekeepers. They're getting ready to say, go back to work. We're not going to shoot you on sight without warning you. That and Ethereum just burned like $62 million worth of whatever their coin's called, Etham or something, or ETH. Just destroyed it, basically. They put it in an unusable wallet and they've locked it away forever to deflate the value. Between those two things, I went and bought some more Ethereum and some more Bitcoin, and I bought some Dogecoin. And within like 2 days, I made a significant amount of net gain on it. I was pretty excited.
Cool.
It's always good to see this stuff and go, these three things together are going to be awesome for me. We'll see if I bail out at the right time. I waited too long to sell. Can't always be right. If I was, I wouldn't be doing the show with you losers. Raising it.
We gotta be looking for that exit strategy. You know?
Exactly. Raising it. If I figured out how to make $1 million by investing, I wouldn't talk with you fuckers either.
Well, we do talk about farts and stuff.
Actually, that'd be fun to hit it rich on like Dogecoin and then dump it all into this show.
You would go broke in a day.
Yeah, we're okay. Speaking of vulgar and rude and disgusting, like we are, Bob Saget died, dude.
Yeah,
dude, that was shocking.
And they make it sound like it
Unexpected.
wasn't. Yeah, they make it sound like it wasn't hookers and blow.
It wasn't.
It's boring, man. Like, really, that's how you're gonna go? But
Yeah. The room
I
wasn't
don't
messed
know,
up though.
Yeah,
he was in
looking like
the
natural causes, like a heart attack or something like that. So
well, they found him in the hotel room with his left hand on his chest.
yeah,
So I don't know whether it means or whether autopsy is gonna reveal. But he was American's dad, dude.
You
After
read the same exact article I read. The
no,
newest update. You read the same one. I think it might have been from Salon
everybody
or
been talking about it. That's all I
or-
know.
oh no, it's
And
just used the same quotes. America's Dad is probably the same article that said right after we lost America's grandma.
yeah, no, I didn't hear about that one. But
All right.
I remember him from the Entourage, the TV show on HBO.
yeah,
The two characters, Turo and Johnny Rama, they went to visit Bob Saget, and Bob Saget had like a party and a bunch of girls and hot girls and stuff. And the girls want to have sex with Turo and Drama. It's like, oh yeah, we're gonna rape you, like. And Bob Saget like, dude, they're hookers. Like, what? Yeah, you think any type of girl want to have sex with you?
Yeah, really.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just funny. So, like ever since then, I found out about him being really vulgar and stuff like that. He wasn't a
Uh,
clean cut guy. Oh yeah, by the way, he was from Norfolk too.
yeah. He started out he grew up here and then moved away.
Yeah.
His family didn't move to Los Angeles till he was in high school.
Yeah.
I'm trying to set up a sound clip, but I go through a commercial and it's weird listening to that first.
Mm.
Yeah, let's a little in memoriam.
Love song, another love song. It's in horrible taste. And if you're with someone you care about,
Oh, this
just
isn't the
put
one
your
I
hand
thought it
inside
was.
them
That
and
sucks.
listen.
I was always like, I'm Bob Saget, bitches. This is what I do. Oh well.
It's not.
We don't need that then. My mistake. I thought I was gonna play something funny and it ended up being dumb. I feel like I wasted everyone's time.
I want my 2 seconds back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but Bob Saget's dead, which is sad. I mean, I grew
Yeah.
up, I learned of this man through Full House.
Uh-huh.
Probably when I was 15 or 16, I found out he had a career before Full House, which was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And he
and
went
it's-
back and he fell back in love with comedy after he got out of, doing Full House.
and dirty, lewd, Norm Macdonald style comedy, like offensive to everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. You'll be missed. 65 years old, right?
Yeah, pretty young.
Yeah. I mean, it's not unheard of, but it's uncommon these days to die at 65,
Yeah.
without, cancer or some other underlying issue that caused
Right.
it.
Uh-huh.
By the way, we got Rona in the house.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got one of the Ronas. She didn't know she had the Rona. Went in to get a test for Lyme's disease
Uh-huh.
because we pulled a tick out like 2 weeks ago at the end of the season,
Mhm.
and she started noticing some symptoms because we were looking for possible Lyme's disease symptoms. And like any other medical facility, as soon as you get there, they test you for corona.
Right.
And she's like, great, now I'm in quarantine mode. And she wasn't showing any of those symptoms. She just wasn't sure because she had this weird, not sore throat, but it hurt to swallow, almost itchy, like a
Okay.
shellfish allergy kind of thing.
Mhm.
And the bite still hadn't healed up. So like, okay, well, let's get it looked at. And just like we've said how many times on the show is you go to the hospital
Yeah.
with a broken leg, and now all of a sudden you're a corona case. And she's frustrated as hell. She's like, now, it's not that big a deal, but it does make a couple things a little more awkward and difficult,
Yeah.
For the most part, we can get stuff done because she doesn't leave the house much anyway.
No, you're not supposed to leave the house either.
Yeah.
You're right. That's correct.
Well, I didn't go to work today. because just to make sure of everything. But I'm pretty sure that I brought it home to her and I never had symptoms.
Okay.
Or one day rather. I told you about that.
Yeah.
We discussed it.
Yeah.
I got a feeling that's when I brought it home to her. And she never knew she had it. I got sick for one day.
Right. You must have had the Omicron.
Yeah. I should have saved this for the Corona part of the show, huh?
Yeah.
That would have made more sense, huh?
Uh-huh.
All right.
I thought that's where you were going, but okay.
Yeah, I probably should have. That would have been a good idea. But I did want to talk about this cop in I think she was in Chicago.
Mm.
Yeah, Illinois, or yeah, Chicago area anyway. There's a whole article here. If anyone's interested, shoot us an email at the Jeffrey and Brian show at gmail.com or comment on one of our posts. There's a lot to this article, but two people, one fired at a police officer and wounded them. Another one, then the two of them chased down the lady cop when she was wounded, took her weapon from her and executed her with her own weapon. After she begged for her own life, it's like, you can just leave, just go away.
And what's going through a criminal's mind when does he think he's going to get away with it? With the body cameras that all the cops have?
That's the thing. It's all on body camera footage too. It's not even. Yeah, it's not even like you're killing the witness like you would have 20 years ago. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, criminals are not that smart nowadays, so
they should be. You can see the camera on the chest. Everyone knows what it looks like. And
I guess they're not. That's dumb.
they weren't even bright enough to take the camera with them, which wouldn't have done much because it's uploaded to a cloud anyway.
So
but they weren't
that's
even-
what I tell you. Yeah,
I just don't understand this stuff.
that's what the criminals, the dumbasses, they don't know how to get away with it.
Well, I'm just curious why this wasn't all over the news.
Yeah, I had never heard of this story. Yeah.
Yeah, and like the charges have already been filed. I believe it's at that point now, right?
Yeah, I mean, the state attorney's pushing for the death penalty. I didn't know Illinois had the death penalty.
They don't. They want to do this federally.
Okay.
And it was before we were doing video versions of this show. But when the Boston bombing happened, we discussed because Massachusetts tried them in a federal court instead of on a state court, so they could do the death penalty. And I remember being pissed, and I pissed off a lot of people I know by saying this. Massachusetts thinks they're too good to execute. Then you don't execute. You don't hand off your dirty work to someone else.
Right.
They said, no, you go do this because we won't. No. If you want this done, you need to do it yourself. You need to push the button or push the plunger or pull the lever. And it really bothers me. And it really bothers me that Illinois is doing it too. If you don't believe in the death penalty, don't do it. As much as I make fun of California, they have a death penalty, but they haven't executed anyone in like 20 years, right? Or 30 years now.
Yeah.
I respect that more. Like we can, but we choose, we don't like to. Versus Massachusetts says, no, we won't do it. And then they do it anyway.
Yeah. So I just checked the comments from our Facebook page.
Oh, we're live on Facebook?
Apparently, yeah, we are live on Facebook, but apparently we've been told to check with Al Gore, and somehow if you won $1 million, he thinks you'd still be doing the show if you made $1 million off of Bitcoin.
Probably would. This is probably what I would do for a job actually at that point. You know, put enough aside to make sure I could survive and then dump the rest of it into the show. Al Gore. We could ask Al Gore, but doesn't he fly in his private jets all across the planet to tell us how we shouldn't be flying in jets?
He invented the internet, so.
Dude, he is a smart man. And he's the one who knows you should put an E at the end of potato.
Yes.
That was him, right?
Yeah. No, that was Dan Quayle they were making a big deal about.
Or was it Quayle?
Yeah.
I've seen it spelled both ways, but
Uh-huh.
I've only seen it with the E if it's pluralized with an S after it. I don't know if that means anything. Maybe I only saw it that way because someone pointed it out to me when that whole thing went down. But no, maybe if this cop or maybe if Bob Saget had been around these scientists, maybe they could have been saved, especially Bob Saget.
Yeah.
Apparently they finally successfully put a pig heart in a human.
Yes.
No, this is huge.
Because they're saying that if this is successful, then it will end the need for a transplant list. And we won't have to get our transplants from humans anymore. We can get them from pigs. But PETA is weighed in on this, and they think it's a horrible idea.
I don't care. Honestly, I understand what PETA does or what they try to do. I don't like PETA.
Yeah.
I understand what they're trying to do. I can respect that, but if taking the heart out of a pig is going to save a human life, fuck that pig.
Well, this pig was raised for this exact purpose. It
The
was
same thing
it was
as the pigs we eat.
genetically edited pig, you know?
Yeah, well, the same thing as the pigs we eat for pork. It was raised just to be slaughtered, right?
Yeah.
Livestock is livestock. I have no problem with livestock. As much as a lot of people think that sounds terrible, no, most of the people that think livestock's terrible, none of them will pick up a bow and go hunting to eat. You know, they think it's gross enough taking the ground beef out of the package, let alone, you know, cutting the cow's throat and butchering it.
Yep.
But yeah, this is huge. If we can do this, and I don't know, realistically, how far away do you think we are from having these hearts in jars, like Futurama style, heads in jars, but have them hooked up and pumping, waiting for someone to need them, instead of having to go cut one out of a pig right before we use it?
I think we're a little ways off on that still.
Think so?
Yeah.
What's a little ways? 5 years or 75 years?
I'd say 10 years.
Yeah, technology's moving quick. It's, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm older than the internet.
Yep.
People my age have kids older than Google. Yeah, a couple. They would have been like 15 when they had kids. Yeah, we could talk about this tax thing if you want. I found a bunch of tax crap, and then I realized I hate talking about taxes because it's such a pain in the ass to get into all the crap.
Well, I was just brought up because they're blaming COVID for how inept the IRS is.
Oh, okay. Well, I read like 6 articles about taxes this year supposed to be particularly shitty, to include the reason that we're 3 years behind, still paying some people the refunds.
Yeah.
Those stimulus checks came right out though, didn't they?
Yeah, they did.
I'd rather get my refund back than a stimulus check. At least the refund was my own money that you're still sitting on without I paying interest, you know? I know you agree with me with that. Ray, what about you? Do you make an effort to get a big tax refund at the end of the year?
A pig tax refund?
Yeah. Like when you file your taxes, do you make an effort to have money put aside to get a big refund?
No, fuck that. I prefer them asking for money.
Well, I prefer to get like between $0 and $100. Because as we've said several times on the show, basically you're just giving the government a tax-free loan by getting a refund. And I know I have a lot of friends that like that, you know, $6,000 refund.
Mm-hmm.
And I get that, because then you get a wad of cash all at once for, you know, to make up after Christmas and the new year.
But is it an actual refund or is it earned income credit money?
Yeah, I still don't know what that means.
Well, some people get, you know, depending on how many kids they have, you know, $4,000 or $5,000 just in earned income credit.
Yeah, that's right. When you get your child deductions and everything, and all of a sudden you're paying negative taxes because you have 3 kids and you make minimum wage.
Right.
So yeah, you get penalized for not having kids.
Well, no. Let's be fair here. The money the government is handing out in earned income tax credits is not enough to pay for a child in a year.
No.
Let's be 100% fair about this here. You know, you get a couple grand. That's diapers alone.
And what people are going to be
year.
shocked with this year is they've all been prepaid. There's going to be big money, big checks coming out this year for earned income credit.
Yeah, that's going to hurt a lot of people, because exactly they don't realize those stimulus checks they have been getting, just like they did it last year. They were all like, "Where's my refund?" It's like you spent it already.
Yeah.
Yeah. I put that money aside, like I'm not touching it, and well, one of them went away, but it got slipped away. But the rest are just I pocket it in, and not spending it just because
Invested in
can be like,
something.
yeah, silver.
Silver's a good one.
Yeah.
Interesting. I got a forge for Christmas. I plan on doing a lot of neat, fun stuff, but it gets hot enough to melt several different metals down to a pure liquid, like low viscosity form.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make a cast mold and pour a silver tiara for my daughter. I have like 3 pounds of silver. I could easily pull out a 10-ounce bar
Mm-hmm.
and pour it into a mold. How cool would that be? It would still be pure silver, you know? So I mean, it wouldn't lose any technical value. It would just be more difficult to move if it had to be liquidated. But it might gain value by being a unique tiara made of pure silver.
Right. I don't know which topic I hate talking more about at this point. COVID or January 6th.
Freedom Day.
Freedom Day. Thank you, Ray, for remembering that one. That was when the George Floyd riots officially ended.
Yeah. Because now we got some voters in North Carolina are trying to ban this guy from running for re-election just because he's a conservative Republican and, was on January 6th, basically.
Yeah. I read this thing 2 or 3 times before I found the part that they actually found offensive by what he said.
So
Because I
no
was
more
like,
free
what?
speech. No more free speech.
Yeah, when he was talking about, it was like, you have a right to be heard, and apparently that was the offensive part. And it took me forever to find out what they were saying was so offensive that he shouldn't be allowed to run for office anymore. I hope the Democrats realize if they keep trying to pull this BS, that sooner or later the Republican Party is going to play the same game back on them.
Oh yeah.
Sooner or later, no, anyone who does listen, who's an American citizen, you don't necessarily have to run yourself, but vote everyone out of office and replace all of the Republicans in the nation. Vote for the other guy in the primary ticket, and there's no one on the primary ticket. Either get yourself on or get someone else on. No, we need to replace all of these guys because none of them have any balls. They haven't done shit. Seriously, shit since Reagan. What have they done? All they've done is put a leash on the Democrats and slow them down.
Pretty much.
Fuck them, fire them all. But for some reason, everyone says, yeah, we should do that, except for my congressman, except for my senator. That's how Elizabeth Warren is still in office. Sorry. Just pisses me off. It's so easy to replace these people, but one of the freest nations on the planet, and we have one of the lowest voter turnout rates on the planet. And it baffles me.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, get me back on track.
Well, I got an article here from MSN saying that if the Democrats don't get their shit done soon,
Well,
they're not going
it's
to be able to get it. They're not going to get anything done because odds are they're going to lose the House and probably the Senate. Definitely the House.
Just to clarify, most of these MSN things aren't actually MSN. They're putting someone else's article on their page. This is actually a CNN article through Microsoft News at the very top.
That's stupid.
I know, but that's what Microsoft News doesn't actually make a lot of their own news. It's like Yahoo. They collect it from everywhere else and put it on a board for me to see. That's why half the stuff I put is MSN. But usually it's like Salon, The Hill, CNN, Fox News. I'm getting a pretty good mix. But yeah, anyway, sorry. I make an effort to not use the same news sources every time. And I use a lot of CNN and a lot of Salon because generally I disagree with these guys. And if they say the same thing as me, it's helping. Continue. I apologize.
Oh, that's it. I'm.
Okay,
Now
well,
we're on to the filibuster topic.
well, this is exactly what I was talking about with
And we talked about this numerous times.
well, not even the filibuster, the one you just mentioned, the CNN article. Yeah, this is
Yeah,
exactly what I was talking about. How everyone's gonna lose their positions. Everyone's getting voted out. I'm pretty sure. What's up, Ray?
yeah. Well, if Democrats have, you know how Brian's talking about like whatever Democrats do, always back then the ass at the end. They get, I mean, they had to take that to Harry Reid is the one that killed the filibuster for Supreme Court justice approved. You know, and that's how Trump got 3 Supreme Court justice approved last time.
That I'm still amazed that Trump, a one-term president, managed to appoint 3 justices.
That's because
Has
of
that
Harry
ever
Reid.
happened before?
Probably not.
No, because back in the day, you used to have a 60% vote in order to approve a Supreme Court justice.
And there you go, Ray. Thank you for driving that point home by circling back on it. Actually, exactly. The Democrats removed the amount of votes needed. Yeah, the filibuster. Oh, that and the amount of votes needed. Filibuster basically means I can stand here and argue all day long, and I get as long as I want to talk.
But that's the old style of filibuster. That's not the new style.
True. That Rand Paul once had a catheter put in so he could stand up for like 15 hours and talk. Dear God, that's dedication. Like,
Yeah, it is.
the thing is, you sooner or later you're gonna either have to go to sleep or poop. It's like you can't stand here and talk forever.
Maybe he was wearing a diaper.
Either so what, you're just gonna stand here for the rest of your life and shit on yourself and piss in a tube.
I remember hearing some senators usually pee in the can, like a trash can, right there on the spot.
I'm
they
sure
come
that's
to.
not allowed anymore.
God. But
That
yeah,
was
again,
probably when it was all males.
yeah. But as Ray was talking about with the filibuster, Biden's trying to end that now too.
Well,
After what already happened with the Supreme Court, they're trying to pull it out again because they're in power again, and they seem to always be the guys getting nailed by their own policies this way.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure. Oh, it's somewhere else. Yeah, McConnell. Yeah, it must be something else. Was saying how they're gonna start using the Democrats' methods against them. Like if they do all this stuff.
Yeah. He said if they try to, because they're talking about making the filibuster wonky and being it just a simple majority for some things and then the filibuster for other things. And McConnell said, if you pull that off, when we come in power, we're nuking the whole thing. That'll be the end of it.
Yeah.
The Senate is the deliberative. It's supposed to be the deliberatory body where it slows things down. They stand on tradition. Things don't change easily in the Senate, but that could very well change soon.
Well, that's how many times have I brought that up? How the Senate's not what it used to be. We've changed the way we elect senators.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a big clown world, man. Well, no, the states are supposed to, well, originally selected senators, and I say originally until somewhat recently, right?
Yeah.
I think within my life.
I think it's a little bit longer than that.
Okay, my mistake. But yeah, the states used to vote themselves. And how did the Senate of the state chose? I don't know. The states chose 2 senators, not the people.
Right.
And the senators were supposed to be the elites, the doctors and the lawyers. And the Congress was supposed to be you and me. Yeah, exactly. That's why I was so excited about AOC, even though I hated her politics. She was a bartender with a failed economics degree, you know? And she was a congresswoman. I was like, this is great, actually. She's actually representing people. Whether or not I like what these people are saying, this is what it was supposed to be. But now we're electing senators the same way as Congress, and then we've turned them all into the same thing. Now the Congress is doctors and lawyers too.
Right.
No one's representing the blue collar worker. And I think this is a huge problem. That's why we need to primary these guys out of office. And I would say do it to the Democrats too, but people that vote Democrat will not listen to a blue collar worker. They will not.
They used to.
Yeah, they used to be their actual platform, wasn't
The
it?
unions still support the Democrats.
Eek.
The leadership
They
of the
lose in support in a
unions.
hurry.
The leadership of the unions, I should say.
Yeah,
I
they
wonder
lose
how the pipe fitter like Joe Biden their first day in office.
Not like they didn't like him at all.
No, that's what I mean. Is, yeah, a lot of these unions, like, we don't like what you're doing, and especially with the money they were making under Trump.
Mhm.
So all right, so what are we going here? Oh yeah, this next one, it also says MSN. I believe it's a
It's
Hill.
a hill.
It's the Hill. The Hill is a left-wing publication. Are you guys familiar with them?
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah, they are definitely not pro-Trump, pro-Republican. They're even saying that the issue is no one will talk anymore. Have a discussion. And if you get down into the article and like read the whole thing, which I try to do on every one of these, but to be fair, we put a lot of articles on this show.
Yeah.
And we kind of gloss over the main topics. But this one really got me. And I read it a couple of times. It made it a point of saying that people that vote Democrat are less likely to even have a conversation. Just like the poll we talked about recently, where people that vote Democrat, there's only like 11% chance they'll have a Republican voting friend. And it's very interesting because then you find the Republicans, almost all of them have Democrat voting friends, but they all have the same 5 friends, you know?
Mm.
And well, that's what this article is saying, is that the left just, they refuse to have a conversation. Now, granted, it goes into that the Republicans don't either, but it's always interesting when you see a left skewing magazine or a publication come out and say, we kind of missed the mark on this one. Bill Maher just came out and did the same thing at an interview. Almost brought it up, put it on the list, but he was trying to talk about, tell the difference between a liberal and woke. And it's like,
Okay.
well, it's like Bill Maher. You have 5 years behind the curve on this one, and he always is, isn't he?
Yeah.
That's because he's got boomers listening to him, not even Gen Xers, let alone millennials, you know? What are you, by the way? Are you a Gen X or are you a boomer?
I have no idea.
You seem a little young for a boomer. Well, your parents didn't fight in World War II, did they?
No.
That was the baby boomers. Right after the war ended, all the men came back and popped out millions of babies.
I was
Same
born in
reason why there's-
'68.
Oh, all right. Oh, so hippie free love era.
Yep.
All right. All right. Did your parents know each other before before you
Yes.
conceived?
Uh-huh.
All right. I apologize, Mr. McFadden, if you do listen, which I'm sure you don't.
They don't even know what a podcast is.
Do they know you do one?
No.
That's even
Well,
better.
they might know I do one because I've done it when I've been there before. I'll disappear for a couple hours and do the podcast.
Yeah, we just like, I got a show to do. They're like, you have a show?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, actually people listen. Which is
Probably
even,
thinking like, oh yeah, probably goes to his Oval Office and sit down.
yeah, exactly. He's actually just taking a giant dump and reading a comic book.
reading the magazine out loud.
I'm tempted to share some of these pictures.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, all right. Well, oh geez, Louise. I had to open this up and get it all ready then. Well, set us up. Tell me what this is about.
Well, I mean, we haven't got a lot of photos out of the detention of the illegal aliens in Arizona or at the border. They're saying there is no border crisis. Nothing's happening. Nothing to see here. And Washington Examiner got some photos that that they published on their newspaper that
Yeah, look at
show
that trash.
otherwise.
That's garbage. Are those like backpacks and duffel bags?
Yeah, apparently they weren't allowed to take their luggage with them when they left the detention area.
And just, oh my God, look at all that luggage. I don't
These
know
are
what that
people
is.
that walked for thousands of miles with that luggage.
And you just take it from them. And jeez, I never even, are those like body bags or something? Or are those hammocks?
No,
I think they're hammocks.
yeah, it's made out of mylar.
Yeah, that space age space fabric they use to keep you warm.
No, well, they use it because it create great seals. When you open your potato chips, you
Oh.
look inside of the metals, plastic thing. It's mylar.
This reminds me of refugee camps I took pictures of in Albania.
Oh, I bet that was, as much as it sucked to do that, I bet I was oh geez, these are terrible photographs. Anyone who's listening to the audio only, you can find them, I'm sure, if you go looking.
Yeah, WashingtonExaminer.com.
Oh God. Yeah, I bet that sucked. They're taking those pictures in Albania, but I bet it was rewarding actually
Yeah.
taking pictures of something like that instead of the deck of the ship, you know?
Mhm. We
Yeah.
need theme music.
We have theme music. Should I play it more often?
No, the theme music for our next topic.
For AOC?
Oh no, not her.
Oh, what's
She
our
could-
next topic here?
Yeah, she could be the next topic, but yeah, we could use.
She
theme
could
music
have a
for
theme
her.
music too.
Yeah, we talk about her a lot.
Dump, 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 dump. Actually, we can use that South Park Mormon song. The dum 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 dum. Which topic are we gonna talk about?
Oh, we're going there next after this.
All right.
So she's not an Eric Adams fan, I take it.
He's the new mayor of New York, right?
Yes. Uh-huh.
All right. He's the same party.
Yep.
Maybe he's trying to be more of a liberal than a leftist then, because but what she said something about a joke he made
Uh-huh.
or whatever. Let me open this damn thing and read it. I know he made a big hard time about her being perfect. Oh, there you go. He said something about low skill workers. And she gave him a hard time about there's a myth that there's a low skill job. It's like, I don't know. I think the guy flipping burgers at Burger King compared to the guy working at the Large Hadron Collider, it's
Yeah.
low skill.
Uh-huh.
Not picking on the Burger King flipper because that needs to be done too. But
Yeah.
if you fuck up and drop a Whopper patty on the deck,
No big deal.
you put another one on. If you
Or
screw
you-
up
Or you just serve it to the customer.
no,
you
we just
know?
give it to them anyway. You screw up the Large
No, it tastes
Hadron
bad. It
Collider,
tastes
you
a
might
lot
destroy
better.
existence. Yeah, and then she gave him a hard time, and he's like, "Oh, I apologize. I wish we could all be as perfect as Miss Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez." She's cute, but she's not cute enough to keep getting elected to say stupid things, you know?
She's
I
cute
bet you
enough to
can
get
see-
COVID-19.
Oh yeah, the COVID-19 when I date her now.
Well, it had to have come from Florida,
Yep.
Oh god.
and it had to
You know
because it
whose
wants to
fault-
date her.
You know whose fault it is now.
I will laugh my ass off because I did. As soon as I shared that link to the group about her having COVID, Ray was like, "Oh, it must want to date her."
Yeah.
And that's been the meme I've seen everywhere. Everyone said it like a day and a half later. And I was like, if people listen to us, it's like we are ahead of the curve on this one. We're even scooping the No Agenda show sometimes. More than once we've scooped them and they've come up with stuff after us.
I have been informed from my
Oh.
classmate from Michigan that I'm a Gen Xer.
Okay, So you're the eldest Gen Xer, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I'll be back.
All right.
'Cause I'm
And he says Ted Cruz probably took those pictures.
possibly. I don't like Ted Cruz either, though.
And we're getting to COVID right now, Michael, and we're going to talk about COVID tests and how the insurance companies are going to pay for them. Yeah, right.
By raising your rates.
Yeah. Charging the government more.
Yeah. Did you notice that Bill Gates bought the company that makes the tests?
Yes, he bought a company.
Yes. All right. Anyway, what's I guess I don't know. But you want to talk about this? We've done this cloth mask thing 100 times.
All right. I'm fine with it. I was trying to find different topics. So
I know, but
oh, here's a good one. The Omicron variant may have come from mice. It
And I
crossed
know-
over from bats to mice.
well, we've seen it in hippopotamus. We've had pachyderms, right?
Yep.
By the way, I got record few views on that episode. I named the pachyderm. Yeah, and I think I had a picture of an elephant on it, and everyone's like, "What the fuck is that?" And I was like, "Oh,
You needed a
all right." And that's
pachyderm.
what I think it was the next week that we started using the same title every week for the show. But anyway, yeah, then we found it in hippopotami, whatever. And it's been in bats. This is actually something we've talked about. How this is why we can't come up with a full-on vaccine like we do with smallpox, because it changes species
Mhm.
and mutates. And this thing is going through thousands of generations in a matter of months. So I mean, it's literally evolving.
Right.
Just like walking upright was evolved by us over. It took us, I don't know, 100,000 years or whatever. These things are doing it in like 8 months, and that's the problem. Is that it'll go to another species and come back, even if you have something that'll dead stop it. Boom! It's done. A mouse will get it. A cat will get it. A dog will get it. A hippopotamus will get it. It'll go through 1,000 generations in a couple months, mutate to its new host, and then come back as a new. I mean, this is literally what's happening with the flu. Every year. This is why we've been trying to say. A lot of people have been trying to say for a long time. That's why this is never going to go away. You would have to vaccinate not just every human on the planet, but like every mammal. And
But
maybe
they're showing the vaccines are only good for like 90 days at a time now. So how many people are going to go every 3 months to get another shot?
Yeah, well, actually, we can skip down to that if you want. I got skipping this IHU. We can come back to that and go right to this. We can't vaccinate the planet every 4 to 6 months.
Right.
It's ridiculous. What is that going to cost? Forever?
Yeah, it'd be forever.
It's malaria pills. I'm sorry, I don't know what else to call it. I wish I knew when we had first said this, because I understand other people saying that it's gonna be another shot, and then they keep saying this stuff. But way before that, we were saying that this is like taking malaria pills. It works as long as you're taking your pills, and as soon as you don't, you get a worse case of it than before because your body can't handle it. So, I mean, so what are we going to do? Are we going to let this stuff, are we going to take a shot every 4 to 6 months? Because, I mean, even the flu shot's not mandatory.
I think as long as Biden's the president, they're going to push until the Supreme Court makes a ruling. Which there's a rumor that the Supreme Court's announced they're going to make some rulings on Thursday, which is very unusual for them to come out with rulings this early in the session. So,
Well, it looks like a majority of the SCOTUS disagrees with the idea of a mandate. Sotomayor she didn't even make an argument about the Constitution either. Like law. She said it sounds like a good idea, basically.
Mhm.
I haven't been a fan of hers for a long time. It kind of seems like she got that job because she's a overweight, diabetic Hispanic woman. Don't get me wrong, she's smarter than I am. I think she went to Yale and has a law degree. But some things that come out of her mouth make me just. She said a couple things in her comments or whatever that made me wonder if she'd ever read the Constitution. And I wish I had it in front of me, because I don't remember what it was, but she said something that it bothered me so much about forcing people to do something, and she didn't see an issue with it. Oh, there you go. She didn't see a difference between states doing individual mandates and the federal government. So you go, if it's okay at that level, why is it not okay at this level? And it's like,
Look at the Constitution.
yes, it's like we literally had a civil war over this, and it was whether or not the states had rights to own human beings. There was a lot more than that.
Yeah.
It was way more complex than that, but that was the straw that broke the camel's back, and the winners of history get to write the textbooks, you know?
And also, that's the Constitution based on, like, the limited power of the federal government. That's why you got the Bill of Rights.
That's the problem, is we shouldn't have to have a Bill of Rights. The founding fathers, the reason why they had to do the Bill of Rights, because it blew their mind that this wouldn't be obvious.
Yeah,
Yes, the Constitution, what the Constitution was supposed to set what the government is allowed to do.
Yeah, but also set a perimeter in order for the state to defend itself.
Well, yeah, it said the federal government has it. Realistically, what the Constitution did was outline what authority the federal government does have.
Mhm.
And the problem is now we have a lot of laws being passed that are saying, well, it doesn't explicitly say we cannot do this. And that's
Yeah,
the problem.
I was listening to the local radio station I like to listen to in the morning. And one thing he bothered me is, like, he said that, like, oh, federal laws overpower state laws. Like, no, it's not. State laws overpower federal laws. But
It depends on the issue.
oh well, look at
That's the-
marijuana.
Oh yeah, let's talk about marijuana. So the federal government decided they're not going to raid dispensaries in California anymore because they
They
were for a
do.
long time.
Yeah, they do for.
But
but
you can't put
the
your
state
money in the
does-
federal banking system yet.
Yeah.
No, okay, it can't be FDIC insured. And that's actually why for a long time. Here we go. This is how the government steals money from people. This is why when California first legalized recreational and medicinal marijuana, they were getting raided all the time, because these guys had safes full of cash
Mhm,
that could
they
be
know what to-
seized by
they
the
know what to
government.
do there.
Oh, and the
Mhm.
government would just exactly you couldn't put it in the bank, and the government
But I
would
said
just
that
walk
if you
in
put it
and
in the
take it.
bank, they could just take it electronically.
Well, now you could buy anything with it. You know what I mean? I mean, you can go online and turn it into Japanese yen if you want.
Yeah.
Put in a Bitcoin wallet and just no one will ever find it unless you want them to, you know?
Yeah.
But this is what was happening when it was first legalized, and the federal government did it, and there's nothing anyone could do to stop them.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it does supersede. The issue is discretion. And if you're saying the state is right, then you have to get into a whole courtroom argument. And that's a whole issue. Is where does it say that the federal government has the authority to outlaw drugs, any drug?
It doesn't.
Doesn't. But I mean, how many drugs are illegal right now by the federal government? They tried to ban alcohol in the United States.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We invented NASCAR because of it. To outrun the cops. You know, it's just the federal government shouldn't have that. All of the authority should be at the lowest level possible. Because the smaller the community, the more tightly knit they are in terms of same values. Those people should be deciding how their community lives. That's why the federal government should have very little authority, period. And they should really just be here for common defense. Like, I still like this idea of 50 independent states that join together for common defense, like city states in Greece almost, you know? We all agree we're American citizens, but Massachusetts, I can do this, and in Connecticut, you can't, but you can do that, you know? Almost like the EU. Oh, Jesus Christ. Almost exactly like the EU, and the EU is falling apart. That was a terrible comparison, wasn't it?
Yep.
All right, get me back on track. Tell me about Governor Blackface.
I thought we were doing IHU.
Sure, let's talk about this new COVID variant that no one's ever heard about. That's been here for, by the way, we could have talked about this on Saturday, but we didn't. It was here then too. All right, you didn't read this one.
The doctor I guess the doctor that found it also came up with hydrochloroquine.
I actually, the wife said she got some weird medication. And I was like, is it hydroxychloroquine? She said it was like, it did certain things. Like, oh, those are the side effects of hydroxychloroquine. It's like, but it's an antibiotic that, it's very common. They gave her for the tick bite. But yeah, I was all excited. I was like, oh, this would be hilarious if they gave you that one. Oh, Jesus. See, there you go. I went and looked at the Facebook thing and the whole thing. Yeah, this new French variant, I guess. It's French, right?
Yeah.
They showed up, and it's even more mysterious than Omicron. Yeah, I heard Curry and Dvorak talking about it. Excuse me. But he made it sound like the Omicron was the French variant, not the IHU.
I don't know. I don't care.
Well, viruses typically evolve to be more infectious, less deadly, because you want to survive the species. If you kill your host, it's not good for reproduction, right?
No, not usually.
So typically speaking, viruses evolve to be less deadly, not more deadly. And let's put on our tinfoil hat. I need to make a little video clip for a tinfoil hat. Someone putting on a tinfoil hat. Viruses that were made in a lab are more likely to fall apart over a couple of generations because weren't naturally formed. So I don't know. It seems like this thing's getting closer and closer and closer to the common cold, doesn't
Right. Yeah, it sure does.
For the exact thing that we're saying is that people they don't not even realizing they're sick or quote infected until they go to the hospital. Oh, there you go. That's something else Sotomayor said. Sotomayor, I'm not sure how you're supposed to pronounce
The
that.
100,000
Sotomayor.
kids that were on ventilators.
Yeah, and it's like okay, first of all, like 3,500 kids since this started have been in the hospital because of this. And we'll get to it sooner or later, but apparently like 2/3 or whatever, or 2/3, I think it was, of people hospitalized or died, period, of COVID have had at least 4 comorbidities like obesity, high blood pressure, alcoholism.
Yeah.
List
And they're saying that's real. They're saying obesity is the main culprit for hospitalizing kids with COVID-19.
There you go. The kids, at least like 2/3 of them or whatever, have been obese children too. And I mean, that makes sense. If you're having a breathing issue, if it's more, you're already carrying more weight on your lungs, being heavy. We all know this. We all know that being overweight is not healthy. As much as we try to say beautiful at any size or healthy at any size, we all know what, we have an ideal.
I'm extremely healthy.
look at the military standards. I mean, I was overweight a couple times in the Navy. I only got up to like 190 pounds, which that's why on TV they're like, oh yeah, it's like I weigh $145. I was like, bullshit, you weigh 180 pounds. They're going by what's quote healthy and not real. You know what I mean? They don't expect people. Well, how many dudes did you know in the Navy that worked out way too much that were just muscle bound and they'll put in the obese cat their measurements?
Yeah, because I knew people like that.
You know, when they did the rope and choke, that's why those dudes was like, no, put me in the water tank. The displacement.
Yeah.
I'm gonna displace way less water. But yeah, obesity is a big issue. It's more dangerous than anyone realizes. And there's a difference between overweight and obese, and then morbidly obese. But people don't realize what an issue it is and how much it affects your health system. I'm not picking on anyone because I have my own vices. I just don't seem heavy when I do whatever it is I do. But you're making decisions every day that affect how your health is going to go in your own life. And you get people that do turn around and say, you need to do this to protect me because I might die from this disease because I am diabetic and overweight. Yeah. And it's like, and have cirrhosis. It's like those three things are your fault. Well, okay, not necessarily diabetes, but you can spark diabetes from mistreating sugar or, believe it or not, actually getting hit in the pancreas a lot.
So
I don't know.
The Virginia governor, who's only going to be in office for, when he issued this order, another 6 days.
6 more days before Youngkin takes over?
Yep. He issued a limited emergency order on Monday to help hospitals and healthcare providers deal with our surging COVID-19 numbers from the super spreader event of Omicron.
Omicron was an event now and not a mutation of a virus.
It's a variant. I
SARS-CoV-2.
just added stuff to the thing. Basically, what it does is it's the action is intended to boost staff and add flexibility for providers. It's limited to 30 days, but it could get cut down faster than that with the new governor.
I bet he lets it run.
So, I mean, I think it was just Northam as a way to, get his name in the news one more time, other than his blackface articles.
Everyone has forgotten about his blackface.
Well, actually, I was reading an article tonight that said he knows who the person is with blackface in that picture. He's 99% sure he knows who it is.
Well, it's either him or he's the guy in the Klan hood. I'm
going with him in the Klan hood.
So yeah, either one wasn't acceptable, right?
No.
So
I think I would rather be caught in blackface than a Klan hood.
I think so too.
I listened to the radio local station. Somebody called to the radio station, and he was talking to his doctor there, and the doctor went to school with Norton.
Okay.
I guess the team of the party. Yeah, the theme of the party was the opposite. So you have to do something that is the opposite of something. So his black friend wear the Klan hood, and Norton is the one with the black face.
They could, they could have done a hear no evil, see no evil joke and just been the other guys.
Yeah.
And not have worn a Klan hood. Like, you may as well have carried a noose too.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the one of the local guys mentioned about when the doctor say he went to class with him, and that's where the picture came from. It's the opposite.
It's in the yearbook, right?
Yeah.
First, okay.
How did it make it into the yearbook?
Where you got a bell?
Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, you had a bell for a while, or an episode or two.
Yeah.
I might have to set that up. All right. You guys want to talk about Whoopi, or do you not care?
Yes, we got to talk about Whoopi. It's an amazing thing. She's done everything right. She's followed all the rules, all the CDC guidelines, and she has a breakout case, which they're not using that term anymore, a breakthrough case of COVID. Basically, it doesn't matter how many shots you got with this new Omicron variation. You can get it. If you get it, you get it. You know, it is what it is. More reason for me to say, stop living in a bubble and get on with your life. Stop living in fear.
Yeah, well, I think we've mentioned it before, but a lot of people are like feeling ashamed when they catch this virus now. Like, I did everything I was supposed to do. Why did I get it? Like just Whoopi said, it makes it sound like she doesn't believe that these other people like AOC, for example, that claim to have all the shots and have done everything right. It's almost like she doesn't believe them when they test positive. And maybe it's because she sees pictures of them getting their hair did or going out and having a beer in Florida. But I know we mentioned it before, according to the math that they gave us, within 3 months or 2 months, I think we said, everyone on the planet's going to have COVID with this Omicron variant. It's so infectious. Mm-hmm. Nothing we can do.
And they said most people say that natural immunity is the best way to avoid getting it in the future.
Oh, true. But to be fair, the argument of just get sick so you don't get sick, doesn't make a lot of sense.
No, I know that. But if I've got to choose between getting a shot every 3 months and getting sick, and I just happen to get sick, well, I'm doing that.
Well, if you just happen to get sick, you're probably going to be, well, actually, they're saying this natural immunity is waning because it's evolving so quickly, but that it's still going to be more effective than a vaccine.
Yeah. It changes your DNA.
And actually, I read a couple of things. I almost shared it, but I didn't want to put more and more BS in here, but we're close to it. They're saying actually now, again, as this virus, hypothetically, if a synthetic virus were to fall apart because it was made synthetically and became more like the common cold, would make sense lining up with this, because now they're saying getting the common cold is giving you some immunity against the new corona variants. So a literal sniffle and the occasional cough is enough to vaccinate you now, like the actual common cold. Which almost, I don't know, just to support a hypothetical idea that this was made in a laboratory, as it falls apart, it becomes more and more like the common cold. As Brian coughs his ass off and needs to go get a COVID test.
I'm waiting for my test to come in the mail from Biden.
Yeah, well, they're also saying, well, speaking of it's running out of control and, it's going to cover the entire planet in 2 months. They're actually officially saying this in the United Kingdom and Britain. I'm sorry, United Kingdom and the United States, that we're Associated Press, that COVID's going to, Omicron at least, is going to stop in both countries because it's so infectious. It's going to have infected everyone.
Right.
Associated Press, again, just shoot us a message. We'll give you the data here, or the link anyway. But they're saying everyone is going to have been infected. So like we're going to hit a peak and it's going to drop off because there's no one left to infect. Natural immunity is going to fight it. If that's the case, there's nothing we can do about it. Let's let it do what it's going to do. And maybe we'll have immunity for a year from against variants as this turns back into the common cold. Dear God, I sound like No Agenda Show. Keep saying it's going to fall back apart into the common cold.
All right, pick one more topic out of COVID, and I'm done with it.
Oh, well, we can talk about Florona.
Okay.
But I do want to mention this Australian dude.
Okay.
Dude in Australia lost his shit over mandates and lockdowns and doused his car and himself in gasoline, sat in the car and ignited himself, then got out of the car while on fire, screaming about lockdowns and mandates and how he can't live his life. Which anyone who lights himself on fire is fucking crazy. Period. That's like the most painful way to die, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
They managed to save this guy's life so far. Like, he's not dead yet. They put him out, and there were civilians that helped him. And there's quotes saying like his skin was dripping on me.
Mm.
Australia's in a tough spot, but I can't imagine light myself on fire. Tough spot, you know?
Well, I expected more resistance in Australia than what we're seeing.
No, maybe you did, but you shouldn't have. They rolled over like a bunch of pussies over giving up their firearms.
Okay.
Didn't they?
Yeah.
You know, and my buddy Ron there can give me a hard time for saying this because he used to give me a hard time about us having guns.
No, he said keep our guns.
Yeah, now he is. He's like, look what they're doing to us. And I love Ron. He's fun. But yeah, the Australians are in a lot of trouble, and I thought they would be the one starting the revolution, the fights, because they're the criminal history. But maybe they're doing too much to try to not have that reflect upon who they are now. Anyone who doesn't know, Australia used to be a penal colony. They were just exiled. Criminals were just exiled and dropped off on this island.
Yeah.
Here you go. This is your prison. Huh?
They used to be the United States until the Revolutionary War.
For a while, yeah.
Yeah.
That's how we found a lot of freedom fighters, actually. You know, Australia's our older brother that didn't have the balls to say, fuck you, we're doing it ourselves.
Yeah.
I'm picking on love them, but their own news is censoring the protests and the riots. Makes me a little nervous, man.
And big tech. Facebook is shutting them down too.
Yeah. It's crazy. I'm in a private group with these guys that are text message that they're sharing some of the stuff that's going on down there, but they stopped sharing that stuff, and now it's all political BS versus it used to be like cell phone footage of a riot or whatever. Maybe these riots are ending, but I don't know. All right, where are we going? You want to talk about North Korea?
Sure.
Well, we have brought these guys up before, but talk about hypersonic missiles. Basically, they fly low to the ground, so they're more difficult to find on a radar.
Yeah, and they're probably harder because they're harder to find on the radar. They're probably harder to defend against.
Yeah, well, exactly. The closer they are to you, the closer to the ground they are moving, the more difficult it is to target in on. Versus because these are flying low to the ground too, at like 5 times the speed of sound. I think it said, or 10 times the speed of sound. Versus an ICBM that gets launched up and orbits the planet and falls. Like if we were to launch an ICBM against North Korea, it would take hours and hours to get there, because we would launch up in the air, it would orbit the planet,
right,
and then drop down out of orbit and come down. The missile these guys have, according to themselves, which they deny and don't deny at the same time, but also South Korea and Japan has said it before. They got a missile that looks like it could beat our missile defense systems. and they keep testing it, and it actually shut down all West Coast FAA flights for it was only like 7 minutes.
Yeah, but that can create quite a havoc.
Oh my God, I can't imagine. That must have been literally thousands of flights.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That threw off timing just a little bit in thousands of destinations, which made everyone had to redivert because of landing times. People don't realize that the skies are as busy as the streets.
Yeah.
North Korea can test their technology, and realistically, good for them if they're figuring something out that no one else has been able to do well. Why don't they just join the rest of the world instead of being the crazy hermit? You know?
Because they would have to give up power.
Why? What? No.
The dictator would have to give up some power
to allow trade.
Yeah.
You probably gain power. North Korea has so many resources that aren't being tapped into because everyone's a rice farmer.
Well, Trump wanted to put a resort there.
Yeah. Yeah, for real, why not? Like let's bring these guys into the 21st century. Sorry, I'm drunk.
This is sober show day.
I'm never sober.
At work you are, I hope.
I work with a printing press. Anyway, moving on from North Korea. I think we could bring North Korea into the modern world without a conflict. I think the dictator would get more power by simply allowing commerce to happen, just like China did. Anyway, tell me about these things happening in North Carolina. Apparently this isn't new, but it sounds like preparing for real civil war.
Right. Well, the Army is doing a realistic guerrilla warfare training in 24 North Carolina counties in the coming weeks with young soldiers battling seasoned freedom fighters.
Is it the Army?
Yes.
I thought this is a militia group.
Army.
Oh, okay, my mistake. So they're looking to quell rebellion.
Yes.
Oh, wonderful. And North Carolina is involved with this?
Yes.
Weren't they the rebellion last time? All right. Yeah, apparently they're making a big deal of publicizing it now.
They're using people from Fort Bragg.
Yeah, I saw that. I thought they were just the Army was helping them.
And then there's going to be civilian volunteers throughout the state that act as role players.
Yeah, like almost like an NPC. Welcome to my store. Here are my wares. Ought to be interesting to see what happens out of this. Apparently making a big deal of publicizing it because in the past
they've done this without it.
Yeah, the police have been called and someone died. And someone else was shot by a sheriff, was it? Sheriff's deputy? Because they thought like an actual crime was being committed and these guys were firing blanks and firing off flares.
Right.
All right. I guess it's well. There you go. North Carolina. Let's go right to South Carolina.
Columbia, South Carolina. They've had a Democrat mayor for 11 years. He decided not to run for re-election, and their mayoral races in South Carolina are nonpartisan, but people are still loosely affiliated with parties, of course. Obama backed the person that was running against the new mayor, and the Republican guy won by like 800 votes in the capital of South Carolina.
That's pretty close. All right. I'm sorry. I just had to look this up because it's bothering me. I was like, I'm pretty sure that's the capital of South Carolina. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that's the capital of Ohio, though.
Oh, I thought that's Columbus.
Columbus. I had to look it up. Sorry, I had to. It was driving me nuts as soon as I heard it. 800 votes is a pretty tight vote, though.
Yeah, but
Especially-
Columbia is not a huge city, you know. Charleston's bigger than Columbia.
You say not a huge city, but it's 800 people might live in 2 buildings. Well, I say
I
that,
don't
but
think
I'm
it's-
thinking,
yeah.
I'm picturing, well, Boston's not a huge city, but it's,
Columbia is smaller than Boston.
oh, because Boston's little, like very little in terms of area. Whatever. I'm not impressed by someone beating an Obama-backed candidate. Like,
The population of Columbia, South Carolina is 136,000.
yeah, so a win by 8 votes, 800 votes is actually a pretty close vote.
Yeah, but it's still a win.
No, yeah, a win's a win. All right. Last thing here. Didn't we just talk about a bouncy
Ray
house?
brought this bouncy house story up.
What?
No, you guys did.
That was me.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just closed the thing I tried. Yeah, we just talked about it in New Zealand, didn't we? When like 20 kids died.
Yeah, you were talking about, I don't remember the country.
It was, I think it was New Zealand. I don't remember how many it was, but like a bunch
Yeah.
of children died, and we made a big deal about this. Apparently it's happened again in Spain. And I don't know, I've seen bouncy houses in storms and videos, but there's never been kids in them because people realize get your kids out.
Yeah.
But a second kid has died in the incident. Like one died within hours of this bouncy house being tossed about. And another one just died like yesterday in Spain. And it makes sense. The thing weighs nothing,
Right.
right? It's a
It's
little
like
bit of
a
like,
big. It's like a big sail, you know.
That-
If
it's
it's not
literally-
tied down properly. It's a sail.
yeah, that's exactly what it is. And what does a sail do?
It goes with the wind.
It takes you where the wind is blowing, right?
Yeah.
That's the whole point, actually. And it's just tragic and it's unfortunate. And I didn't realize this was this common.
Oh yeah, a couple years ago, a bunch of things happened in Texas and stuff. They start anchoring them down. It's a safety feature. You have to anchor it down before kids can jump in.
Well, I have a little mini one. I mean, it's for it only holds like 250 pounds.
So
But-
you won't be able to go in there.
No, oh yeah, okay, I'm not that heavy. But I mean, we anchor the crap out of this thing because, like, we're not gonna let this thing blow off with a gust of wind, you know?
Right.
Even if it just tips over, that's a mess. But I guess that's our show. Unless you guys got something else.
Let me see. Let me see. No,
I think
nothing
you got
much.
nothing, dude.
Nope, I got
I
nothing.
think that's our show, an hour and a half.
Yeah, so all right. What was it, 75 or something?
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us. I tried to do something about getting us you might be
Should've
able to
talked about-
find, huh?
Should have talked about Nancy Pelosi eyebrows.
We could have. Well, I mean, I was trying. I don't know how to get a like blue hyperlink for the show, like for our Gmail or our PayPal.
I can create that.
Yeah, I've tried a couple times, and all I can do is like try to go like I'm sending an email to it and copy but that's a whole thing. Anyone interested though, we'd love to have you on the show, especially if you disagree with us. even more fun, we would love to take your money and invest it into the show so we could buy storage space and maybe
Buy
some decent
crypto.
equipment or even a web page. Not that we expect donations, because realistically, I don't donate to people I listen to. I've handed a couple bucks here or there, but I'm not a regular contributor. I'm not a knight of the round table, for example.
Nor am I.
Ray, have you checked out the No Agenda show?
No,
yet?
he hasn't.
No.
We got to keep hitting him in the mouth.
That's all right. It took you how long to punch me in the mouth before I finally clicked on it? You have to get past the fact that it's a morning show.
I'm awake already in the morning.
All right. Well, I think that's our show.
All right.
Someone stop the recording and there will be crickets.